all things in the world that most resemble the Tao. In Lao Tzu's eyes, there is no doubt it is water. In Lao Tzu's view, water is closest to the Tao. In chapter 8 of the Tao Te Ching, it says, "The highest good is like water. The highest good benefits all things yet competes with nothing. It dwells in places people dislike. Therefore, it is close to the Tao." When Lao Tzu first mentioned water, he used the words highest good to describe it without hesitation, revealing his deep admiration. The Tao Te Ching contains over 5,000 words. Understanding the way of water will make it much easier to grasp the Tao that Lao Tzu speaks of. So what virtues does water possess that made a great sage like Lao Tzu admire it so deeply? Grow Wise welcomes you. Listening to a valuable book each day can help you live more clearly and elevate your thinking to a higher level. Today, we continue exploring the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. In this episode, we examine Lao Tzu's philosophy of water. The highest good is like water. When we think of Lao Tzu, we immediately recall the word Tao. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. This phrase made the Tao mysterious, and it became the symbol of Lao Tzu's philosophy. Man follows the earth follows the sky follows the Tao, and the Tao follows nature. In Lao Tzu's heart, the Tao is undoubtedly nature and non-action. Understanding this, we will see why Lao Tzu so deeply admired water. It all begins with Tao follows nature. Lao Tzu built a system of dualities in the Tao Te Ching. Ancient thinkers emphasized harmony between heaven and man. Here, too, represents all things in heaven and earth, while Tao represents the law and origin of all things. To help us better understand the Tao, Lao Tzu used water as a metaphor. He said water is closest to the Tao. Water benefits all things but does not compete. Water is soft, yet it can become firm. Its strength lies in softness that can also be hard. In Lao Tzu's eyes, water practices non-action, yet there is nothing it cannot accomplish. Water has no fixed shape, yet it can take any form. It acts without seeming to act. It teaches without speaking. This, perhaps, is perfection. Softness overcoming hardness is one of the key features of Lao Tzu's philosophy, and softness is the most prominent trait of water. In Lao Tzu's philosophy, the way of water reflects the quality of gentleness. Softness is a crucial principle in Lao Tzu's way of life, and water is extremely soft, thus expressing Lao Tzu's emphasis on gentleness. Tao Te Ching chapter 78 says, "There is nothing in the world softer and weaker than water. Yet for attacking the hard and strong, nothing surpasses it. Though water is soft and weak, when facing hardness and strength, nothing can surpass it." Not everyone knows that softness can overcome hardness, but few can truly practice it. The softness of water is not weakness. It is resilient, enduring strength. Softness is the law of water, and also a symbol of power in Lao Tzu's eyes. Softness is not weakness or fragility. It is patience, flexibility, and wisdom. The Tao Te Ching chapter 76 says, "A living person is soft and weak. A dead person is stiff and hard. Plants and trees are soft when alive, dry and brittle when dead. Therefore, the stiff and strong belong to death. The soft and weak belong to life. When a person is alive, their body is soft. When they die, it becomes rigid. Plants are flexible when growing, but dry and stiff when dead. Thus, living things are soft, while lifeless things are hard. The softness of water is not weakness. It contains unmatched resilience and endurance. Human character expressed through softness shows adaptability and flexibility. Only those who are flexible can move forward or back as needed, easily responding to any situation. This very flexibility is the expression of true strength. Softness in character, though weak in appearance, contains infinite strength like a bow. The more flexible the bow, the farther the arrow flies. Thus, what exactly is the Fan Ying method? Guizhi wrote, "The great transformer of the world operates invisibly. According to Taoist thought, all things under heaven are born from the Tao. One who clearly understands the laws and transformations of all things is a great transformer, or what can be called a sage. Only those who can adapt can easily adjust to change and reveal true strength in character." The way of water is selflessness. Lao Tzu said water benefits all things but does not compete. Without water, nothing in the world could grow. Water in the sky becomes rain and snow. On the ground, it nourishes all living things. All of this reflects water's spirit of selflessness. Because water helps all things without seeking reward, water is the source of all life. Tao Te Ching, chapter 81 says, "The sage does not hoard. The more he helps others, the more he has. The more he gives, the richer he becomes." A wise person does not accumulate wealth. By giving fully to others, they themselves become more abundant. Heaven benefits all things without harming any, and a person who follows the Tao helps others without competing. In this world, most people think only of accumulating wealth, but Lao Tzu teaches us another way to grow rich. True wisdom is not measured by how much one accumulates, because material wealth always has limits. Selflessness means providing value to others, and in doing so, one becomes richer within. Kazuo Inamori, known as the Sage of Management, lived his entire life by the philosophy of selflessness. Simply put, he achieved 3 great things in life. At age 27, he founded Kyocera and turned it into one of the top 500 companies in the world. At age 52, he founded KDD and also made it one of the top 500 global companies. At age 78, at the request of the Japanese Prime Minister, he returned to the business world and in just 1 year led Japan Airlines out of bankruptcy, turning it into the most profitable airline in the world, also ranking among the top 500 companies globally. Kazuo Inamori once said that when he first started Kyocera, his motivation was selfish. He only wanted to advance his own technical skills. But in the 3rd year, if their words are unreasonable, counter them and investigate further. This way you will see their true intentions. This shows that using stillness to control motion means, in conversation or debate, you should let the other person speak more while you speak less. Letting them talk is movement. Speaking little is stillness. The other serves others. Which one will carry the company further? Kazuo Inamori said after this incident. His entire business mindset shifted. He formed a philosophy of wealth through selflessness. He said, if you want to achieve great things, your motivation must be for the sake of others, not for yourself. When he founded the telecom company KDD, his goal was to make phone access easier for everyone. When he restructured Japan Airlines, his aim was to restore public trust. The motivation behind these actions was always for others. Yet Kazuo Inamori also reminds us, act with sincerity. Be selfless, but do not immediately elevate it to the level of sacrificing yourself for others. Do not turn selflessness into something unrelated to your own passion. Otherwise, you will lose enthusiasm for your work. Moreover, selflessness is very simple. Begin with small things around you. Do what is within your ability. That is enough. In modern society, we often hear about competition, but we fail to realize that the law of nature is completely opposite. A person who does not compete, who remains humble and creates value for others, will ultimately receive far more in return. If you only focus on yourself, constantly competing and grasping, in the end, you may gain nothing. In truth, when you give, you also receive. Selflessness is the highest form of self-interest. If you persist in giving, you will surely gain much in return. As the saying goes, if you help others, others will help you. A person who contributes without expecting reward, who gives without waiting for thanks, who consistently does good, their blessings will grow more and more. This is the principle of Wu Wei. By not forcing, nothing is left undone. The 7 levels of water. In Chapter 8 of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu gives a detailed description of the highest good is like water. He lists 7 noble qualities and life principles that water represents. 1. Dwell in good places. 2. Keep a deep heart. 3. Live in harmony with others. 4. Speak with truth. 5. Govern with wisdom. 6. Act with skill. 7. Move at the right time. Lao Tzu gradually introduces the virtues of water and offers a series of life philosophies and ideals. This undoubtedly provides important insights for how we treat others and navigate life. Now let us explore the 7 levels of water. Number 1. Dwell in good places. Where does water dwell? It flows to the lowest place. Water makes no demands about position. Everyone wants to rise higher, but water willingly stays low. Is being high truly happiness? In a poem by Lao Tzu it says, "Perhaps the jade palace is too high, the cold unbearable." There is also a saying, "The higher the note, the fewer who understand. The higher one climbs, the more pride they may carry. And the more pride, the more enemies they create, putting themselves in danger." But if a person can lower themselves, remain humble and unpretentious, others will want to connect with them. They will gain more support and help. They will blend easily with nature and people around them. History offers a mirror. Ching. He was a founding general of the Ming dynasty and also a childhood friend of Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang. Other generals often called Zhu Yuanzhang by his nickname Chomba and joked about stories from his youth. But Ching, he alone remained clear-minded, always addressing Zhu Yuanzhang with proper titles and respect. In the 3rd year of the Hongwu era, Zhu Yuanzhang granted noble titles to his officials. Ching, he was not made a king, only a marquis. Yet he showed no resentment, he accepted the title with joy. Among the other marquises of that time, 27 held high ranks. Many became arrogant, proud of their achievements, and failed to remain humble. Clearly, Zhu Yuanzhang was pleased with Ching He's attitude of not competing. In the 11th year of Hongwu, Zhu Yuanzhang gave Ching He a new mission. By the 21st year, even though Zhu Yuanzhang had retired, the military power held by founding officials still troubled him. Ching He sensed the emperor's concern. He followed the unspoken will, citing old age and declining health, and voluntarily returned his military authority, requesting to retire in his hometown. Zhu Yuanzhang was deeply pleased. He not only accepted Ching He's resignation, but also funded the construction of a residence for him in Fengyang, his hometown. In that bloody era, Ching He surviving the blade of the emperor's suspicion was truly a miracle. The main reason was his humility and refusal to compete. Lao Tzu in Tao Te Ching chapter 10 said, "Give life, nourish life. Give birth, but do not possess. Act, but do not control. Lead, but do not dominate." This is the deepest virtue, helping all things grow without claiming them as your own, guiding without ruling. The goodness of dwelling low is not only about the outer world, but also about inner life. When we cannot change the outer environment, we must adjust our inner state. This is called transforming the mind using the heart to change circumstances. Only you can decide where to place your heart. When your heart rests in a good place, no matter where you go, that place becomes good. As the ancients said, a blessed person dwells in blessed land. Blessed land shelters a blessed person. Number 2. Keep a deep heart, like a deep abyss. Water, though in the lowest place, never complains or competes. Its heart is vast, like a deep valley. No one can measure its depth or width. Because water flows downward, it gathers into the great oceans of the earth. If you want to take it, you must first give it. This is Lao Tzu's analysis of how situations develop, explaining the idea that things reverse when they reach their extreme. The famous story of the frontier farmer losing his horse illustrates this idea. The story tells of an old man who raised horses on the northern border. Only those with great capacity can achieve great things. So what is capacity? It is broad vision and a forgiving heart. Only with far sight and an open heart can one be called a person of great capacity. We must learn from water's nature to make our hearts wide and deep, not concerned with honor or shame. Lao Tzu in Tao Te Ching chapter 26 said, "Stillness is the root of movement. Calm is the master of restlessness. If you act rashly, you lose your root. If you act in haste, you lose control." Lao Tzu teaches us the power of stillness. As the saying goes, still waters run deep. Inner stillness allows us to observe and reflect. Stillness gives rise to clarity. Clarity gives rise to wisdom. A calm heart can keep secrets. If a person cannot keep a secret, if they reveal everything, they will hardly succeed. Number 3. live in harmony with others. During the Warring States period, states constantly formed and broke alliances, sometimes uniting, sometimes fighting. All practical choices without absolute right or wrong, only suitability. The Fan Ying chapter also says, to hear their voice, remain silent, to make them reveal themselves, conceal yourself, to appear superior, lower yourself. Whenever we can help, we should reach out. There is a saying, the level of a society's civilization is measured by how it treats its most vulnerable. There are people in poverty. There are people with disabilities. We must treat everyone equally. Kindness must come from a heart of compassion. Helping others must be guided by humanity. We must not help others while thinking we are their savior or see ourselves as a hero. If you help with the expectation of reward, that is an exchange, not kindness. True kindness gives without expecting anything in return, without demanding gratitude. That is the humanity of water. From this, we clearly see the philosophy of equality in Lao Tzu Dao De Ching. In the relationship between humans and nature, Lao Tzu believed all things come from the Tao, therefore all things are equal. In chapter 25, Lao Tzu wrote, "Great are the Tao, great is heaven, great is earth, great is heaven, great is earth, great is humanity." In the universe, there are 4 great things, and humanity is one of them. Humans, like all other things, exist equally under heaven and earth. Not only should people be equal to one another, but humanity must also be equal with nature. Humans are part of nature. We cannot exist apart from nature. As part of nature, we must learn to follow its laws, follow the way of heaven, follow the way of earth, follow the way of the Tao. Today, science has advanced greatly, yet nature remains the teacher humanity cannot leave. Only by respecting natural laws can human life and production be sustained. If we go against nature, if we harm the environment too much, in the end, it is humanity itself that suffers. Number 4. Speak with truth. Water keeps its word. It always follows the laws of nature. Anyone who has seen the ocean or large rivers knows that tides rise and fall at precise times. The reliability of water is exact. This trustworthiness is not only in its behavior, but also in its nature. In the ancient poem A Song of Jiangnan by Li Yi, it says, "If I had known the tide keeps its promise, I would have married a man who rides the waves." This line expresses a woman's disappointment in a man's broken promise and at the same time affirms the faithfulness of water. In ancient times, before mirrors existed, how did people see their own reflection? They looked into the water. Water reflected everything like a truthful mirror. A beautiful person saw beauty. An unattractive person saw their flaws. No deception, no distortion. From water, humans learn an important lesson. Keep your word, be trustworthy. Lao Tzu in Tao Te Ching chapter 36 said, "Easy promises are rarely kept." Thinking something is easy leads to many difficulties. People who do not think deeply, who easily make promises, often fail to keep them. Because they underestimate the task, when they act they face unexpected challenges, and when they cannot deliver, they lose the trust of others. Number 5. Govern with wisdom. Water constantly changes form. Pour it into a cup, it takes the cup's shape. Flow it into a river, it follows the river's path. But most importantly, water remains fair. It nourishes all life equally. Its surface always stays level, whether in a cup, a lake, or a river. Lao Tzu gave advice to those who govern, learn from water. In Tao Te Ching chapter 17, he said, "The best leader is one the people do not know exists." Next is the leader the people love and praise, then the leader the people fear, and last, the leader the people despise. Lao Tzu's philosophy of governance still holds great practical value today. He teaches us what makes a good leader. Let us consider a small story to understand this. In the state of Qi, a flood damaged a bridge. An old man was trapped on one bank. At that moment, the Prime Minister Yanzi also needed to cross. He used his own boat to carry the old man to the other side. After crossing, the old man thanked Yanzi, praising his virtue. This is the kind of leader Lao Tzu described. 1. The people love and praise. But what would a better leader do? They would notice the bridge was broken and quietly organize its repair without anyone knowing. The people might not know who fixed the bridge, or even that it had ever been broken. Number 6. Act with skill. Water has endless ability because it stays low. The growth of all things depends on water. Ships travel because of water. Water can cleanse dirt and impurity. Water does not try to achieve anything, yet precisely because it does not try, it accomplishes everything. This is a quality of wu-wei, non-action, yet nothing is left undone. Humans must cultivate themselves in nature and at the same time adapt to it. Act according to circumstances. People should be like water, constantly broadening their vision, constantly learning, and constantly improving their skills. A person with many talents and knowledge has more opportunities to grow across wide fields. Water wears away stone. A stream flows joyfully. A lake remains still and calm. A river rushes forward. A waterfall is powerful. The ocean is vast and boundless. Each form of water has a different role and ability, yet all contribute to enriching the world. From water, we can develop perseverance from droplets, joy from a stream, wisdom from a lake, and strength from a waterfall. The waterfall is the embodiment of persistence. Water only becomes a waterfall when it has no path forward. When humans face their greatest difficulties, they too can unleash hidden strength, learn from the deep pond, cultivate softness and tolerance, become profound and hard to read. Balance hardness with softness, movement with stillness. A person who achieves this state will live in harmony. And what could they not accomplish? Number 7. Move at the right time. Act at the perfect moment. Skillful action at the right time means choosing the proper opportunity for every task. The flow and transformation of water always know how to adapt to circumstances. It never forces its way into a dead end without turning back. First, consider the flow of water. No river in the world flows straight to the sea. Along its journey, water sometimes rushes forward, sometimes flows slowly, sometimes moves straight, sometimes winds and twists it, advances according to the shape of the land. When it meets an obstacle, if it can pass over, it does. If not, it immediately adjusts and changes direction. Yet its final goal never changes. Now consider the forms of water. Water knows how to seize the right moment, transforming with the environment. Sometimes it is cloud or rain, sometimes mist or fog, sometimes fury, sometimes frost, snow, or ice. All appear at the right time, changing with the seasons. In spring, it moistens grass and flowers. In summer, it refreshes all living things. In autumn, it gathers clouds. In winter, it spreads white snow. The 4 seasons turn. Scenes change endlessly. From water, we learn how to interact with others. We too must be flexible, adapt to change, and seize the right moment. In dealing with people, learn this quality of water. In every task, adjust according to the season. The situation be fluid. Follow the laws of nature. In Ching chapter 63, Lao Tzu said, "Deal with the difficult while it is easy. Handle the great while it is small. All difficult things in the world must begin with what is easy. All great things in the world must start from small steps." To accomplish difficult tasks, we must begin with simple ones. To achieve great things, we must start from small details. Our time is like flowing water. Once gone, it never returns. Days and months pass by. Therefore, we must know how to seize the moment, do what needs to be done at the right time. When it is time to act, act. When it is time to stop, stop. This is the lesson water teaches us. Water does not struggle. Water does not worry. In Ching chapter 8, Lao Tzu said, "Because it does not compete, it has no sorrow." When a person reaches the state of non-competition, their heart no longer worries, their mind no longer holds resentment. Finally, I offer you the full text of chapter 8 of the Tao Te Ching. The highest good is like water. Water benefits all things and does not compete. It dwells in places people dislike. Therefore, it is close to the Tao. It dwells in good places. Its heart is deep. It lives in harmony with others. It speaks with truth. It governs with wisdom. It acts with skill. It moves at the right time. Because it does not compete, it has no sorrow. In Lao Tzu's eyes, water is closer to the Tao than anything else. Water has two great virtues. It nourishes all things without competing, and it stays where others do not want to be. When one embodies these two virtues, 7 other qualities naturally arise. All of them stem from these two following nature, walking the human way. The highest good is like water. Water is soft, weak, yet does not compete. It nourishes all things without attachment, without complaint. Water follows the way of nature, stays low, yet moves steadily forward. Thank you for watching today's content. This summary and interpretation of the Tao Te Ching ends here. If you have personal thoughts about the Tao Te Ching, please leave a comment and share. If you found this content valuable, don't forget to share it with friends and family. Warm regards from GrowWise.